It's Wednesday, December the 4th. I'm Joey Only, Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. It's been a strange, difficult, and sad 24 hours here in the lodge. I was recording a forecast video yesterday for the channel here. And was well into it, about 15 minutes into my recording session, and I heard a woman's voice out in the hall there. And I thought it was Lisa, who's lived down the hallway for 5 years. It's her second time living in the building here. And, I thought it was Lisa because we're going to make a trade, like a pack of smokes for some weed kind of trade, Since last week, we talked about that. If you run out of smokes because the post-strike made it difficult for her to get smokes. So I thought it was maybe Lisa finally. I tried to knock on her door there the day before and heard nothing. And this time, though, it wasn't Lisa. I went out there in the hallway, and it was our local paramedics, who were really, really great people. And then I knew something was up, and then I found, I took them to where Lisa was, and Josh was with her and trying his best. So Lisa has passed, is no longer in the building with us. And that's a very sad day. And it's like, I want to come here and talk to you about weather, but at the same time, I don't have a whole lot of weather talk in me. I guess we'll get through this the best we can. Look at current BC conditions. It is raining right now in the interior, at least up here in Prince George and Caribou and whatnot. And we did have that freezing rain warning that went through the Peace area and whatnot. We got a bit of a break on Thursday. So that's nice. New storms are pounding in the weekend. We'll look at that. And we'll look at Lisa a little bit. We'll look at some other stories too. Here on the Bad News Show. Let's go.
There it is. This is bad news.
My God.
Falling out right now. Anything could happen.
Get on!
Wow. I'll watch the video later.
They dry mopping this. Oh yeah, I'm a little discombobulated this morning. I didn't sleep well last night. That's what you'd expect. Your nervous system doesn't calm down very easily when you've just had your friend, your tenant, your neighbor die in her apartment in your building, and then you have the coroner, of course, and you have the paramedics. A side note about our Wells paramedics. I know when I hit my darkest moment of my life, and I was trying to die, I was found, and one of the people that was involved in the finding here in this room when that happened was our local paramedic Jody. And if ever I'm at my darkest hour, win, lose, or fail, I'm glad it's her that comes to the door. It's not like I'm in the city where some random stranger comes. So you think about these small town paramedics, it's a lot different because she doesn't just show up and see some random stranger. She's not just with a victim or a patient. She's with a neighbor or a community member or a friend, right? So I have a lot of respect for small town paramedics. Like, you give a level of compassion that some people never get anywhere else in their life, right? And then, of course, you have a cop in your house asking you questions, and it's there was no concern of it being a murder investigation. It wasn't like I was anxious that way. Nonetheless, having a cop in your house asking you questions about someone dying in your house is stressful, right? Who wouldn't be? And thank you to the Quesnel RCMP. You were really good, really cool, really easy, really kind and gentle. So thanks to you guys. So the deep sadness, we tell you the news of our housemate Lisa Strauss's sudden passing. She's been with us for the last 5 years, living in the back. Her second time living here. She was a very kind person. She didn't judge people. She was safe here, and she knew it. She was part of this place and will always be. Thank you to our community paramedics. I always take comfort in the fact that it's neighbors like you who comes there for us in our darkest hours. The lodge won't be the same without Lisa around. It's a sad day for Wells. It's a sad day. We'll miss her. And just some of the people around Wells showing concern, and so many of you I've known for so long. Barb and Robert and Sandra. Oh, yeah. Her heart dropped when Candida sent this to her. Claire. Christopher, my buddy. Glenda. There's more comments, too, from other people. So I know this isn't me talking about the weather right now. Julia Mackey. Yeah, Donna. Shannon from Diggy's Diner. Brandon, who is the fire chief here. Dorothea Funk. I'm not sure what you said. Our breaking news. Yeah, she's one of our town councilor, Danielle, really great neighbor. Norma, who I have coffee with all the time. Karen, love you and your husband so much. Some of these people like Maureen, I don't really know, but Auntie. Oh, Gary, even who's my wildfire? My wildfire. He's who taught me, man. He's who taught me. It goes on. It goes on. There's quite a bit of this. And Laverne, I haven't seen you in a long time. Oh, it's a small town. We really care about each other here. Really care. Patty, she loved you, Patty. Linda. It's a small community. And, Lisa struggled. Like, she had agoraphobia. And, people know me as having anxiety and agoraphobia. And, I'm like, the minor league, and she's like on the all-star team, man. Like, it wasn't comparable. I could still function fairly. I was just very averse to dealing with the outside world anymore. And we understood that about each other. And I never really judged her, even though I seen her in a lot of bad states, and she's seen me in a lot of bad states. And, I guess what sad is people get to this point where they have nowhere to go, and we took her in and did what we could for her, and maybe she had a longer stay on Earth because of it. Josh did everything he could for her, but still, at the end of the day, we couldn't. There's no home care here in Wells. She had health complications. She had a lot of health complications. Had put on a lot of weight, and her drinking had cut down, though. She was doing better, and I'm talking a lot about Lisa today. I guess I should be talking about the weather. But that's how I'm feeling this morning, okay? So I had to get some of that out of the way at least, and just be real about what happened yesterday. It was pretty fucked up. I'm in the middle of recording. It's like your whole day is going, and then all of a sudden, chaos in the house. Lisa's gone. We'll see what we can do for her. I don't know yet. I have no budget to bury people. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm sure the community will come together somehow. I hope. That's not today's problem. Okay, let's get on with some news of some kind. Okay. There's calls to renew the search for Jim Barnes, whose dog has turned back up. He's been missing 6 weeks. This is after he was last seen in the Forest Service Road on October 18th, it says. So they believe the dog has been found alive, the same dog. And he was a paramedic, and he took Murphy with him before he disappeared. He was last seen in the Ground Birch Forest Service Road, 60 kilometers southwest of Fort St. John. Yeah, there's the dog. I'm concerned that if this dog's not with him, I hope I'm wrong. Generally speaking, it would be really unusual for the dog to turn up if he's not there. If he's not alive. But does that mean that they shouldn't keep looking for the guy? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a really bad sign. It's a really bad sign. There was a couple who were attacked near their home there in Fort Severn First Nation in Ontario, and the man fought off the polar bear and saved his wife. He suffered major but long life-threatening wounds to an arm and his legs while trying to fend off the bear Tuesday morning. Wow. So the Ontario storm train continues. It's lit up down there. Snow's been falling in buckets. We had freezing rain warnings in BC, but that has now moved over to Alberta. So you are now the beneficiaries of the freezing rain that we said we don't want anything to do with. We don't want no part of that freezing rain around here. Should end later in the afternoon, though. Oh, I got the coffee hiccups. It's recording time, and I got the coffee hiccups. Fog advisory in southern Alberta. That won't last very long over on the BC coast. A little bit of talk about the next one coming. No, not at all. Fog advisories. Don't expect them to last very long. So nothing really exciting going on in Western Canada right now. And for some reason, my internet's being very slow. Snow squall warning right now in Manitoba still. 10 to 20 centimeters there at Lake St. Andrew Provincial Park. that's coming down pretty good. Snow squall changes. They're really not saying too much, though. Blowing snow in the city of Winnipeg. There's a reduction in visibility. There could be 70, 80 kilometer an hour winds gusting there. So some difficult conditions. Snow squall watch, 5 to 10 centimeters. Could fall till Wednesday afternoon. So most of this is moving its way out. Of course, it is moving its way out because we know there's a new storm coming into Ontario. That it's reforming itself, pulling itself together, and there we go. Over on the Caliper Lake area, just near the west of Fort Francis, we have 80 kilometer an hour gusts of wind going on there right now. Out in Nipigon, snow squall warning 15 to 20 centimeters. Large section of northern Ontario there has got 5 to 10 centimeter weather advisory, and 15 centimeters expected on the east side of northern Ontario. And snow squall warnings, new snow squall warnings, 15 centimeters additional, still coming down to Sault Ste. Marie area and White River. The lake squalls continue 10 to 20 centimeters at the very, very east end of Lake Superior, all through Manitoulin Island there. Snow squall warnings, really 15 centimeters possible still, 70 kilometer an hour gusts. They've just really been hit excessively hard. Could see 20 or 30 centimeters in Sudbury, and 30 to 45 centimeters at Naganish, and that looks like more or less Parry Sound, who's been just getting slammed again and again and again. Still north of Parry Sound as well. Could see in the North Bay area, Lake Nipissing area, 10 to 25 centimeters and whatnot. So this has really, really been the story for some time now in Southern Ontario, a bunch of days as this has been going on, and I'm sure people feel like they've been under siege by some of these snowfall totals over the last bunch of days. And currently it's raining and warm here in Wells. It's above zero. It's quite nice. Southern Ontario, eastern Ontario's got that 15 centimeters warning as well. So, Mom, if you're going anywhere, it was nice to hear from you last night, Mom. We haven't talked in quite a while, and we're not good at talking. I'm not good at answering the phone. I never have been. Snowfall warning. So we got some of the exciting things in the world of weather today in Canada. Lots of snowfall. Eastern Canada getting smacked pretty hard. And over where Frankie is there, Sydney, Nova Scotia, and the Cape Breton Highlands, an area like that, 90 kilometer an hour winds are going on there today. So really, really awesome stuff. Remember I told you it was going to warm up? 12.7 in Sandspit yesterday. That set an all-time record for the date of December 3rd in BC. Other than that, finally, not too much going on the old daily records page. We'll come back to weather news in just a minute again. And today we've had a week here where things got started off for me here with an extremely crazy Saturday night with people just dinging my phone nonstop and making me feel crazy, and and then some outpouring of support from everybody, which is really great. Thanks to all the channel members and sponsors and Patreons and keeping me going, and just all the good words people say. It really helps, And then I made a couple episodes where I was like, well, there's not a lot talking about the weather to do, so, let's talk about things. And this is kind of what I was going to talk about yesterday, some of this stuff, and then Lisa died, and it didn't happen. But, okay, so this is the headline here. This makes me furious. So, Trump's joke on Canada. So, Trump's joking that Canada can become the 51st state if they don't like the tariff deal or whatever. And the ministers are all laughing, ha, 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 silly talk. It was just him being silly. Yeah, just him being silly. It's like when you're on a date with a guy, ladies, and he's sitting there joking about how beating his wife would be like, it's like, dude, and you're just gonna laugh. Ha ha ha, the fucking bully says he's going to annex our country. Hey, he says he's going to go and make a war on Mexico. Public Minister Dominic LeBlanc says, it's in no way a serious comment. You fucking cock-sucking sellout assholes. Over my dead body. That's what you're supposed to say. When they're testing the water, putting their toe in to say, hey, how will it go if we joke about taking over Canada? Oh, they think it's funny. Okay, good. Why would America, they're obviously just joking about making war because they never go to war. So it's obviously a joke. Wrong. See all these? These are all wars the Americans were in, and a lot of them took place in North America. Cherokee, Northwest Indian Wars, Northwest. Okay, not the Algerian War. Okay, quasi 19th century Barbary Wars. There we go. Creek War, Hookava Campaign, Seminole War. Look at how many wars. Second Barbary War, Winnebago War, Black. Oh, these are all in America, you know. And second. Oh, and this is against. This wasn't in America yet. They just decided to make war on Mexico. Eventually here shortly thereafter and take over Mexico. There they go, Mexican-American War. We already made war on Mexico once. That's why Texas and California are now America. Do you forget that, people? It's not funny to joke about invading your fucking neighbors. It's not funny if I'm sitting there at the store and I'm talking to people who are supposed to be my friends. I'm like, yeah, you know, I could beat you up if I wanted to. And they're like, oh, bully, we'll just laugh so that you don't actually beat us up. Please don't fucking beat us up. Look at these wars. Dakota War. These are all wars that happened in the continent that made America what America is today. You think these insane people don't know this? The Modoc War, Great Sioux War, Nez Perce War. This is all on Wikipedia. These are a lot of wars that you can go look up yourself and find out. And then finally, you know, what happens is eventually America decides to become an empire. And then once it becomes an empire, it starts, well, first regionally going through Latin America and whatnot, but then eventually getting involved in World War I. And there we go, with all these other assholes that were fighting to become, and then World War II. Of course, they mostly came out on top of that, became the dominant empire for the next bunch of years. And now what we're seeing is their dominant empire is slowly crumbling from within. It's wasted a lot of money on wars, and it's a country that has no clear vision, and it's at war with itself now. It wants to deport people. It wants to attack each other. It's divided on political lines, fault lines, class lines. These people, Bosnian War, non-stop war, Kosovo wars, a lot of them are illegal. War in Afghanistan. You know, as far as I'm concerned, U.S. intervention in Yemen, did you even know that was going on? I did, but you probably didn't. Iraq War, speaking of illegal wars, oh, well, they would never do an illegal war. No, never any illegal war. That's not America. They're the good guys. They're just out policing the whole fucking world. Well, no one's going to police them, of course, but, you know, that's okay because they're the police of the world, and we need America thinking, and please don't hurt us. Fuck you. Every one of you guys down there that says Canada would make a great 51st state, you guys would freeze your balls off if you came up here. You wouldn't like it. Go away. We don't want you. We got enough problems as it is. We don't need Americans. Here we are on the satellite. The low is starting to move down to Ontario. They're establishing itself in the Great Lakes area. That's the next round of the next storm for you. Then you can see over in the prairies. This is a tail dragging through. It's bringing some freezing rain into parts of Alberta. That will probably move into Saskatchewan. We'll see what happens there. I know I got a bit of a cool down coming for some of you. It's like up and down because you're sitting right on the near where that line is, where it's like one more afternoon you're warm and one afternoon you're freezing. It seems to be going on. And we got this large bunch of horseradish and hogwash up there off the BC coast, tailing in behind down below. New low out there that we're kind of watching this week to see what it's going to do. And of course, my general expectation is that we are going to see nothing tonight. You know, this rain and stuff will move its way out and we'll take a bit of a break, and mostly Thursday, unless you're not very far western areas, you might get a little bit of something there. But no, mostly we're looking at a pretty nice day on Thursday in BC. So what are we here to talk about for weather? Well, northern BC, Friday morning starting early. Coastal BC, Friday morning starting early. Here's our next series of storms progressively moving in. Looks like a parade of them is coming, like we saw Avalanche Canada saying yesterday. So get ready for that. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't look too crazy yet. You know, there's always these concerns about what that will look like. Saturday, we're looking at some snow possibly in parts of the interior and whatnot. I think as we get closer to the day, we'll probably have a better look at that. It's possible that the mountains will take the brunt of it, of course, and that those of us in the dead central interior won't see that much precip at all. But here's that next storm. And look at this one. This one's pretty well formed. So this is what we're watching out now and see what's going to happen there coming into next week. And that'll probably be the next story on tap after we go through this weekend. But yeah, I'm concerned about temperatures. You can see that one cold air blast there is sitting down into Manitoba right now tonight. So it'll be pretty chilly there. You can see the tight isobars in the low in Ontario. So it makes the Great Lakes very, very windy. That's drawing in this cold air. It's what's helping to feed that storm. Of course, right? A little bit of a warm spot in BC. If we jump forward to midnight on Thursday, it looks like that piece, the Alberta side, looking pretty nice, all in all, right? And most of that cold we're concerned about, well, here comes your break for the prairies even on Friday. So Alberta, maybe even Saskatchewan, taking a real nice warm up there as well. And you can see that cold air kind of making its way maybe more or less into Quebec than Ontario. So you might get lucky. I was saying to John Clark there last week that if that hits you, it's going to be really nasty. Really nasty. And by next week, we're starting to kind of look at our next situation that we're in terms of more of that cold air coming down in towards Ontario and whatnot, right? But mostly in the Long Ranger, things aren't looking too bad for BC temperature-wise. Looks like we're kind of sitting mostly seasonal this next bunch of weeks. I'll take that. It's time to play Tell Me You're a Little Bitch Without Saying I'm a Little Bitch. So Vancouver Councillor Pete Fry displayed some pictures that some children had made about climate change last month in a Vancouver council meeting. It's intimidation, councillors said. Look at this fucking intimidating picture. It says, stop in big letters. Keep gas out of our building. That sounds like a demand. That sounds like an order. I'm intimidated because I'm a spineless piece of human garbage. Who is the spineless piece of human fucking garbage we're talking about anyways? Oh, it's this complete piece of garbage named Brian Montague. I feel that's intimidating to the speakers we're going to have. A picture that children made. Oh, the horror! Someone stop before it paints a picture again! So zooming in on Friday, right? Zooming in on Friday. Looks like 7 a.m. you start seeing that, maybe a little bit of rain putting into the Prince George area at that time, northern BC scene. So there's a transition, a mix of rain and snow going on. That could make things kind of difficult. Heavy precipitation probably Friday afternoon into Vancouver Island, into the Coast Mountains. I think a lot of that, just being warm enough in the interior, will fall as rain, so the mountains will take the snow. Then again, though, if you got plans to travel this week, you're like, well, it's the weekend coming, let's go to Alberta, and maybe be aware that going through those mountains there is going to be kind of messy at times. It's not necessarily going to be good driving conditions. It's not, so, it's like, that's normal weather. Yeah, it is, but it doesn't necessarily mean that if you get into that freezing rain Saturday morning in southern BC or northern BC that you won't end up in the ditch. It doesn't take a lot of bad weather to make things really fucked up in your life, right? It's the basic, and that's what I don't get when people are like, oh, that's normal. It's like, well, why wouldn't I talk about it? Even if it was normal, something that can wreck your house or flood your yard, why wouldn't you want me to talk to you about that? Why wouldn't you want me to explain? So, Saturday really seeing quite a bit of snow in the mountain ranges especially, right? So I don't think that we're looking at a great deal into the interior. It could be by the time we get into Saturday night, the Caribou sees some of that proper and watch that move on down. So I think it's Saturday overnight that there's the best chance because things will cool down enough that any risk of rain will fall as snow, and you'll see that kind of band move its way down in time for Sunday. And what do we got Sunday? Looks like Sunday is clearing up, so some possibly a nice weekend. But -10 Williams Lake was overnight into Monday. That's chilly. So that's where we're going for the next bunch of days here. Keeping it simple on the forecasting because there's nothing too crazy on the story front. And my brain's just kind of busted after what happened here, right? So I'm just lucky to get anything out of me today, really. Just saying that as a matter of truth, not that you're lucky. But I mean, yeah, I don't feel like I have a lot of focus right now. Let's make more vaccines. No, you will put microchips in our bodies and track us. Elon Musk. I will put a microchip in your brain. Nice. My cousin Scott says Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives, they voted against the GST holiday gift for Canadians. They voted to cut corporate taxes, though in his time that's cost Canadians $60 billion. Well, we can't afford these GST rebates for all the working people of Canada because we gave $60 billion to the ultra rich and to the corporations of Canada. That's Pierre Poilievre. He's a real working guy. He doesn't care if your teeth fall out. He doesn't care if you die in the gutter. He doesn't fucking care if you have nothing for Christmas. He doesn't care. That weasel rat Fink. Got so many of these scumbags in politics now. So many of these scumbags, they don't care about anybody. And this guy, Kash Patel, he's been picked to lead the FBI. And this guy, you know what he thinks he wants to do? Is he wants to create political terrorism against the opponents. You know, he's fully in favor of it, fully says it out loud, to weaponize the legal system to go after the opponents of Donald Trump. That is fucking fascism. And people are cheering on it. Do you understand? This applies to you. You don't think it does because I voted for Trump. He's hilarious. And, it doesn't apply to me. It's after those other bad people. No, things are bad right now. Things are really bad. And I can't help but feel like things are bad. This guy, Kash, as if his name's the Kash Foundation's his fucking foundation name. You know what he does is he makes fake drugs and sells them to people. What kind of fake drugs, Joey? What kind of fake drugs does he make? He makes COVID vaccine antidotes. He doesn't make COVID vaccine antidotes. It says on his bottle of the bullshit he fucking sells, COVID vaccine antidote. You can't turn a vaccine off, people. These people are taking your money away and keeping it for themselves for no good reason except for narcissism. Lisa, sad go it's been here. This was Lisa. One time she was so fun, so out there. And when her mom died, she just kind of let go, you know. In some ways she'd improved. It was always okay having her around, you know. It's like, well, Lisa's got nowhere to go. Well, tell her to come back here again. She can stay in the back somewhere. Figure it out. I guess part of me always knew that Lisa had nowhere else to go and didn't want to go anywhere else. And I guess I always knew that was probably how it was going to end here. But yeah. Anyways, everybody, I'm not going to beg for support today after saying all that. Just going to say hit the like and share and subscribe and tell a friend, and we'll see you next time. And hug your loved ones and keep cool out there. Keep safe. Care about so many of you. That's the show for today, everybody.